I walked out of the house in the morning to jump in my truck and cover a job at another store. And the truck wouldn't start. So I pulled out my keys and found the keys to the bike, which was sitting right on the front porch, and figured that'd be a good idea. In past thought, it wasn't. A couple exits down 91, and fall down went boom. Their best guess was at about 70. I remember none of it. I don't even remember taking the bike.
Well, the day it happened, I got contacted actually 8 hours after the accident. He had gone into surgery when I finally found out. He had pressure on the brain, so they had to remove part of his skull to give room for the pressure and put a bolt in. And he had a bunch of different fractures in different places throughout, hematomas. The prognosis was not good. You know, in statistics, he shouldn't have been alive. He was in a coma for about 3 weeks. He was in the ICU. And we took him, when he was moved up to the 5th floor, he was still really not even awake. I mean, he'd open his eyes and move his arms a little bit, and he might smile at you. But he really still wasn't aware of what was happening. And then he went down to the rehab for 5 months. And he still wasn't aware of anything even there. But he worked hard, and they pushed him. And even when I brought him home 5 months later, he still really wasn't aware of everything going on. Memories, short-term memories, he still has problems with. Balance, he still has problems with. But all in all, he's come back a long way. And I thank God for that. He's had to go back in a year ago and have a shunt put in because he had come to a point where he was sort of just not improving anymore. And we put the shunt in because it was still a little bit of excess fluid. And once that was put in, leaps and bounds. His balance got better, his speech got better. It was amazing. Dr. Erkmen was his primary surgeon. As a matter of fact, we just saw him yesterday. We still go back if I have questions, and his bedside manner is great. He talks to you so you can understand. He's the best doctor I've seen throughout this. I was in the ICU with him, well, for the first 3 days nonstop. I'd go out to make phone calls to the family and get something to drink. And then after that, I'd be up there at like 6 in the morning and not leave until 9, 10 o'clock at night. And it didn't matter what shift it was of nurses. They were wonderful. They'd talk to me if I had questions. They'd explain everything to me, what numbers we were looking for the certain machines to be on. It was just amazing. He still does speech up at Dartmouth, and she's great with him, come a long way, because when he first came home, you couldn't even hear his voice. He would say words to you, but his voice just wasn't there.
Mary Sue Turner. And she's been very good at understanding that there's a communication problem from time to time, and finding ways to work around it. Progress is something you have to take minute by minute, and the only advice I have to anyone who has the same similar sort of circumstance is don't ever give up. Don't stop thinking that you can do something. You may not be able to stand up and do it now, but tomorrow the sun will come up again, and there'll be another time that you may have time, and a lot of it has to do with the person who's working with you.
We started a new program up at Dartmouth. There's Steve and I and another gentleman who we actually are the safety committee, I guess would be a good name for us, safety department, that we go into the patients that are at risk to fall to make sure that things are safe for them and things are in reach. Or if they just need a glass of water, whatever it is they may need to help them and help the nurses. And I wanted to be able to give back a little bit for everything that they gave to us.
I think volunteering is going a long way to recovering some of what I consider my life. Because if I do nothing but move a wire for one guy and put the nurse remote back to him, and it puts a smile on his or her face, that in itself puts a smile on my face. And if all being said is that the only thing I can do is put a smile on someone's face for the course of the day, that works for me.
Volunteering also helps him to give back a little bit, to feel more like himself, of being able to do something. That's the biggest thing for all of this, is to be able to help someone else get through a rough time. You know, we talked to his neurosurgeon and was asked if maybe sometime if we'd come into the ICU and talk to a family to help them be able to get through this too. And we agreed. All he's got to do is call, and we'll go and sit and talk to a family, and hopefully it will help. You know, because I would have liked to had somebody who had been through it to be able to come and sit and talk to me. And if I can help make something just a little bit easier, or answer questions, or just sit and hold their hand. Don't give up the hope. Don't give up the strength. It's the most difficult time in your life, but you can do it.
I've got 3 things that are on my hit list for this summer. And one of them will be later in the summer because winter will be involved by then. Riding a bicycle, driving a car, getting on hockey skates.
They're goals.
And skis.
I can't help you with that one, sorry.
That's great.
Oh, but it's coming again.
I just stand, sometimes it just makes the tears to see the different things and see how far, I know how far he has come. And to be able to do certain things again, like last weekend, went out and played badminton with him, with his boys for the first time.
Who's been the biggest help to you?
Thank you.
Yeah. And you don't have to thank me. You just keep up that smile.